Welcome into Arsenal Report, fresh off that 1-0 loss to Tottenham in the friendly in Hong Kong. And listen, there are some takeaways to take from this match for sure. The first one being the ref, the pitch. Neither team created anything. Really not much of a match, if you think about it. The goal they scored, by the way, gorgeous goal by Matt Sarr, but obviously Richarlison completely clips Lewis Skelly's ankles. That goal would never have stood in a match with VAR. But nonetheless, beautifully taken goal. Lewis Skelly probably a little weak to lose the ball there, but nonetheless, Tottenham created almost nothing else other than offset pieces. They kept tackling David Raya and nearly scoring Olympicos from the corner kicks. Twice that happened. Again, though, outside of that, Tottenham created pretty much nothing other than a Wilson Odobert very nice shot off the post. That was a very tight angle. Would have been in a spectacular goal. And then Arsenal. There were a couple interesting things from this match that I actually liked in terms of us going forward. I know a lot of people were frustrated by the lack of creativity, but number one, the amount of times the ball got knocked down around the box and Odegaard was able to latch onto it and get a shot off, that's exciting to me. That's goal-scoring opportunities that we're creating by creating havoc in the box, getting in crosses from dangerous areas, and those will turn into goals, especially when Ethan is playing in that number 10 role. Odegaard is not a number 10. We've spoken about this over and over again. Odegaard is a number 8 who likes to be a part of build-up and can get involved in the final third, but mostly outside the box. Ethan is a box-crashing number 10 who will score loads of goals in those scenarios. Really liked that from this match. I really liked our ability to go long with Havertz and Saka, creating that pin situation where Havertz is knocking the ball down to Saka and trying to create more. I don't think our left-hand side really influenced the match enough, and we're going to get to that a little bit in our next segment here with our Trossard and Martinelli discussion. But what I did like was that it allowed Saka to run at the defenders a lot. And Saka is still getting up to match fitness. You can tell he's still just a little bit rusty from obviously coming back at the end of last season, not playing in it this summer, and just having a lack of match fitness. But he looks spry. And also I like the fact that he was protecting himself against a very physical Tottenham side in a match where it felt like it got out of hand very, very quickly. Some other positives to take from it. Zubimendi. When Zubimendi came on, we just controlled the game. I love the way this guy plays the game. He plays the game as he's a part of the ground, as a part of the ball, as a part of the pitch. He is just the tempo controller, and he just seemingly is getting 1-2 touch on every single ball. Like, the ball just comes into him and comes out. Comes in, he's a metronome. Really, really good player. I'm very excited to see him in the starting 11 alongside Declan Rice. Our control on matches is going to go up a whole nother level with him replacing Thomas Partey in that system. Ben White. Ben White, I thought, overlapped really nicely in this match over and over again. The crosses were not spectacular, but again, that's just a game time thing. But I like that right-hand side dynamic. Let's get a little bit more into our left-hand side struggles, though, with Leandro Trossard and Martinelli. First of all, Leandro Trossard comes on and then comes off 25 minutes later after picking up a groin injury, which is not ideal considering it seems like Dortmund and a couple other clubs are interested in him. So this may halt a sale, which could be a huge problem for us in trying to get in Eze or Rodrigo or one or both or whatever it might be that we're still after. So that's a bummer. In terms of Martinelli, the best actions I saw from Gabriel Martinelli in this match were that same dynamic I talked about with Havertz and Saka on the right-hand side. When Martinelli came a little bit more central and played underneath Havertz, that's where he's at his best. He's not necessarily a center forward, but he's not a touchline winger. He needs to be influencing the game by popping in around the edges of the box in central areas and getting shots and decisive actions off from there. 2 or 3 times he got in those areas, and those were the best actions he had all match. Every time he received the ball out wide, trying to drive at his right back, he seemingly just lost the ball or created nothing. The left-hand side has massive, massive issues with those two players. They are not able to be isolated wingers the way that we're trying to play them because we have an inverted left back. We have Declan Rice as the left-hand sided midfielder who wants to also play in the central areas. It leaves them out on an island. And especially with Gyökeres coming in, who's not really an aerial threat, crossing from that left-hand side isn't necessarily going to be something that's going to create a whole lot of goals for us. Those two players, they're not it at left winger. And the more I see it and the more I watch it, it does seem like Noni Madueke right now is our starting left winger for so many reasons. He's direct. He is an isolated winger. He's somebody who wants to hug the touchline and, potentially drive at a defender. My issue with him is I'm not sure how good he is cutting onto that right foot and playing those crosses from the half space, but if he can get to the byline and play some cutbacks to our number 10, which is going to be hopefully Ethan for a lot of the season, and hopefully Saka crashing from a more central area, if Ben White's holding that width, then that can work really well. The other option at left wing is Reece Nelson. there's been no doubt over the course of 3 matches that Reiss Nelson has been the best left winger that we've seen out in that position. Now, I don't think Reiss Nelson is of the level to be a starter for Arsenal, but for me right now, and I mentioned this maybe a week or two ago, I'd rather sell both Trossard and Martinelli and go into the season with Noni, Reiss Nelson, and potentially Eze as our left wing options. It's just a far more attractive proposition to me. Nelson is super direct. He has so much springiness. I know the injury issues have just hampered his career in so many ways, and it's hard to continue to believe in a player who is so often not available. But to me, Reiss Nelson, every time he's been on the pitch, he's created more than either of those players combined, and he's played such limited minutes. And yes, sometimes he's been going at tired legs, whatever it might be, but that's still his role in this team. He's not the starting left winger, and I really like what he's offered. At the very least, Reiss Nelson has shown any potential buyer that this is a serious player. This is somebody who can come in and make a difference for your side at the Premier League level. He is upping his transfer value every day, and yes, he only has 2 years left on his deal, but there's no reason that Reiss Nelson's not a 15 to 20 million pound player. He just is. And I'd like to see him stay at Arsenal and let those other 2 wingers go, or at least for now, I'd let one of those wingers go first and then see if we get another winger in, and then you can make another decision. But Trossard being injured, that hurts his chances of being sold. Martinelli's, the way he's playing, hurts his chances of being sold unless he's willing to go to Saudi. So it's a bit of a tough one on that left-hand side. We'll have to see how Berta addresses it over the next couple weeks. And then finally, Myles Lewis-Skelly. Myles Lewis-Skelly, first of all, I'm the biggest believer in Myles Lewis-Skelly. I've been watching him. If you follow me on Twitter, at Will Balsam, the biggest believer in Myles Lewis-Skelly. I've been watching him since he's 15 years old in the academy. Absolutely spectacular player. I have no worries about the long-term success of Myles Lewis-Skelly. But he does look a little bit burnt out during this preseason. He played a lot of minutes last year, almost 2,500 minutes last year for a 17 then turned 18-year-old. That's a lot of minutes in your debut season. Well more than he was expected to play. I think the goal was for him to originally play 1,500 minutes, which is what Ethan played. But with the injuries to Calafiori, Zinchenko, our left back situation, Tomiyasu, whatever it might be, Myles Lewis-Skelly was asked to play far more minutes than expected. He then started playing for England, made his debut for England, scored on his debut for England, played in the summer for England. He seems a little bit burnt out, and Calafiori is now injured again. Looks like we're selling Zinchenko. Kivior's having to play left center back with Gabriel hurt. It's a lot of minutes for Myles Lewis-Skelly. The more and more minutes I see him play, the more it feels like we may have to hold on to Zinchenko because the burnout is real, and Zinchenko at least is somewhat reliable. Listen, I'm not in love with Zinchenko anymore as a player. I think we've graduated past his abilities, but at this moment in time, it feels like Myles Lewis-Skelly has kind of come to an impasse with the amount of minutes we can put on his legs, and he had to play again a lot of minutes tonight. I'd have no doubt in his talents and where he's going to go in this game, but right now I'd like him to get a little bit of a break in the next week or two leading into the Premier League season because he's our starting fit left back at the moment, and he looks like he is already tired, and we're still 2 weeks away from the season even starting. But that's Arsenal Report. This is a bit of a summary on the match you all just watched, or maybe you didn't watch, and that's why you're here. But daily, we've got transfer updates, summaries of matches, tactical fits, everything Arsenal. It's here. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.